Today I'm going to be ranking every single episode in regular show that revolves around Benson. Benson started off the show as just being the one every single person hated because we were all just kids. We didn't understand Benson. He was just that guy that was yelling at the cool guys, Mordecai and Rigby, and we just didn't get it. But when you become an adult, you realize that Benson is the most relatable character in the entire show, and he's got 18 amazing episodes that are all about him, so I figured I might as well rank all of them from worst to best. And I'm almost at 10,000 subscribers, so make sure you press that subscribe button, like this video for more awesome cartoon, movie, and gaming content. And without further ado, let's rank every single Benson episode in regular show. And starting off this list at number 18 is Park Manager's Lunch. And in this episode, Benson gets invited out to a super awesome park manager lunch with Gene and a bunch of other park managers. So he's super pumped about it. He's telling everybody about how we're going to have an extra long lunch today because Benson's going to go out and he's going to enjoy himself. The only problem with this is that Gene is a crazy person and pranks them constantly and has done horrible things to the park. So the entire gang doesn't really trust this, and they all think that Benson is making a huge mistake. Benson thinks that they're all being a little bit delusional. Why wouldn't they want Benson there? Benson is a great park manager, so Benson's gonna go anyway. And everybody doesn't like this, so they start plotting, scheming on how they could take care of Benson and make sure he's gonna be okay, and they get this brilliant idea to put a little tracker on him. Mordecai and Rigby pretending that they don't know how to be slackers is just so great.
Aw man, raking? I'd rather play video games.
Pop's throwing leaves in front of his face, and then Mordecai and Rigby just walking away while Benson is just completely and utterly confused.
Huh? You gonna rake up these leaves?
Why they're not doing their job. It's such a great sequence. But either way, during all the chaos, they manage to get the tracker on him, and Benson starts driving to the park manager's lunch, and they're close by listening to him on a walkie-talkie, and Benson is just talking, chatting it up, talking about his hairs, and nobody really likes this. Pops is not ready to know Benson in this way.
It's bad for your pores.
I'm not ready to know Benson like this.
But when are you going to be ready to know Benson in that way, Pops? If you're not ready yet, are you going to be ready soon? Anyway, they get to the restaurant. Benson's just having a good lunch. They're all in there just watching him from another table far away. Benson eventually realizes that they're there and sneaks over and just yells at them and tells them to leave. Nothing bad's going to happen. Nothing crazy's going to happen. He's just trying to enjoy a good lunch. Everybody feels bad, so they leave. And then all of a sudden, Benson gets kidnapped by the other park managers, thrown into a van, driven to a lodge, a cult. And they think that they're going to be executing Benson. So everybody breaks in there, grabs Benson, gets him out of there, and we get a high-speed chase where they're just running away. I don't know why they're throwing their members at people in the van. They could have just waited until they eventually stop. They know where they're heading with Benson. But no, they just throw their lackeys at Benson in this high-speed chase, trying to get Benson back, trying to steal him away from the park members, and they eventually make it all the way back to the park. And Gene is all like, "What the heck, Benson?" And Benson's like, "You ruined my initiation into this amazing, awesome club, and now I can't be in it." And then Gene's like, "You have the worst, most despicable park members I've ever seen." And Benson's all like, "That's not true. They were just worried about my safety. They just care about me." And he doesn't even want to be a part of that lodge anymore. Screw that stupid lodge. I don't want to be in it. It's not worth my time. I don't like it. You're not a good person, Gene. You're a bad person. And Gene is all like, you really think so? Because it was all a test to see if your employees care about you. You still want to be in that lodge?
Think after all that, I would still join your club? Then you're absolutely right! Yes!
And of course Benson does, because it's Benson. And yeah, happy ending for Benson. This episode is good, not overwhelmingly fantastic. There's a lot of good moments in it, especially just all of the stuff with the setup to get the tracker on Benson. That entire part was great. The high-speed chase scene was really good, and it's just really nice to see people actually caring about Benson and appreciating Benson. That's always a good thought. The reason it ranks a little bit lower on the list is because I feel like there's just definitely episodes that are way better than this one, have way crazier things going on than this one. And I feel like this episode, it was already established that like everybody is starting to like Benson, that Benson is just a cool guy, so we don't get like any like major plot threads with Benson. It's just a pretty average episode of regular. Coming in at number 17 is Pam I Am, and ooh la la, we got a Benson romance episode. We never get those because every single romance that Benson has had in the show, it just ends horribly for him, with Audrey just breaking up with him off camera, and then the Russian spy lady who never loved Benson to begin with, didn't even remotely like him even at all, was just using him to look around the park. Yeah, Benson usually strikes out with the ladies, but when the dome experiment is going on, there's a dome on the place, there's a dome on the park, Benson meets Pam, a scientist there, and he gets himself a little date with her.
Wait, you like hot wings?
Yeah. It's literally my favorite food.
Me too. Well, maybe I'll just have to swing by your lab and drop some off.
Oh, yeah? You're gonna sneak past the guards?
Maybe I will.
Well, if you do that, then you'll be my favorite person ever.
He's super excited, he's super pumped, and he's got to go to Wing Kingdom and get some wings. He doesn't know what kind of wings to get because he doesn't know anything about this person. He just knows that he likes this woman. He needs the woman. Benson can't catch a break, and this could finally be his big break to get a lady, so he's super excited. So he just gets every single flavor that they could possibly have there.
I'll get half spicy.
They're just wings, buddy.
Just wings? These wings might decide whether or not I get to go out with the girl of my dreams. Everything has to be perfect!
He goes for his nice little date with Pam, and it turns into this whole, like, Willy Wonka gravity thing where they almost float up into the ceiling fan, but they're able to stop themselves with burps and stuff. And yeah, it's a Willy Wonka ending. There you go. That's all you really need from it. Benson is not allowed to see Pam until Pam is done working there, because Dr. Langer clearly likes Pam. Dr. Langer is like the villain of the dome. He's in charge of the dome. So Benson and Pam are going to wait today until the dome experiment is over. This episode is honestly pretty great. It's really good to see Benson actually start to catch a break, because, I mean, it feels like everything in his life just goes so wrong, whether it be Mordecai and Rigby causing him chaos, whether it's girls never being interested in him, whether it's him going home alone and just being with his cat for his entire day, even though he's clearly like at least 35 to 40, I don't know his age, but either way, he's going through it, he's having a tough time, and it's nice to just see an episode where Benson actually has somebody who really likes him, is very interested in him, and there's a potential for it to actually go somewhere. And as we see at the end of the series, like, even though Pam horribly breaks up with him later on, that it all works out in the end, and Pam ends up going back to Benson all the way at the end of the series, which is very wholesome, and I'm glad Benson actually found somebody. And coming in at number 16 is Welcome to Space, and everybody has finally arrived at the space tree to complete this ultimate mission, to get trained, to get ready. Everybody's super pumped for it, except for Benson. Benson doesn't understand why he has to be in space. Why does he have to do all this super interesting stuff and train for a super important mission? He just doesn't get it. He's just being super negative the entire time. He doesn't like any of the good things that all of his friends are pointing out.
Hang out and swap stories.
Hey, Benson, check it out.
All you can eat wings!
Yeah, they had that back on Earth, and they were probably better, too.
And eventually he says that I'm done, I'm not staying here, I don't want to be in space, I want to go back home. So he's going over to a pod to leave, and he says, I'm leaving space, goodbye, runs through the door, but not before his friends give him a little VHS tape, and he takes it with them and goes anyway. So he goes in a pod, goes all the way back to Earth, and it is just horrible. He gets bombarded with reporters who want to know what's going on, why is everybody in space? He gets evicted from his apartment, he has to work at Cheezer's, and he gets fired. No place will hire him in the entire world, and he becomes homeless. Becomes sad, aliens eventually invade the planet, and Benson finally watches that tape, and it's just actually really sad. Just everybody saying that they just can't live without him, they just need Benson, they need Benson to be there, to be their support, to be a leader, to just help them out through any situation that they might face in space.
All right, you get it. We'll miss you, so don't go, all right?
Yeah, Benson, we can't do this without you.
And this makes Benson cry. Everybody's crying, thinking that Benson is going to leave. And Benson is just like, I should have never left space. Oh my gosh, what am I doing here? Why did I leave space? And then you find out that he did never leave space. He was in a simulation pod for about 1 second.
Well, it won't work.
No, Benson, wait!
You're making a mistake!
I should have stayed in space!
You just walked through the wrong door.
And he experienced an entire life where he left space and was alone and was sad and was homeless. And he realizes that, well, I probably should stay in space to avoid that happening to me. That doesn't sound very fun. So he stays in space and he's going to join the mission. Everybody's happy because they got their Benson. And this episode ranks a little bit higher than the other episodes just because it kind of is an emotional episode and you actually feel for Benson here. You feel really sad that he's leaving, and just the entire like VHS tape where they're all saying how much they care about Benson is just really great to see. Again, I really like when people are being nice to Benson, understanding Benson, and appreciating Benson, because he is one of those characters that truly cared about everybody in the park, even though though he was angry most of the time. I think that's why this episode ranks up just a tad bit higher than the other two. And coming in at number 15, does anybody ever feel haunted by that number and think of Burger King foot fungus whenever they say 15? That's not the point. Number 15 is Fries Night, and in this episode, Benson is talking with Pam on a video chat, and Pam has to reveal to Benson that she just can't be with him. She can't be with the guy who is all the way in outer space, and she doesn't know when he's going to come back, which really sucks because Benson finally caught a break. He finally found a girl who actually liked him, actually wanted to be with him, and they were finally able to start dating because the dome work was going to stop, and then they go up into space, and Benson can't be with her.
I get it. I was sent millions of miles into space against my will. You're back on Earth.
Are you sure you're okay?
I totally understand. I am good. Pam, why?
So Benson is reasonably super upset, so he starts downing wings, and wings are, you know, alcohol in regular show, starts downing them. That's just not helping, so he has to find another method to start feeling better, and the best way to do that is to eat some french fries. And luckily, there's Roxy's food truck who serves the best fries in the entire galaxy. And Roxy is a literal rock, a floating rock with eyes that is sentient, and unfortunately for Benson, she's all out of fries for the night. But Benson, luckily, can go with Roxy to get all of the ingredients to make some more fries. So they go to Potato Planet, they go and get some grease, they go and do all this amazing stuff. And during this, Benson is just so damn sexy.
Ooh?
Oh, yeah.
That Roxy falls in love with an organic, with Benson, the forbidden fruit. How could a rock possibly love an organic person? But Roxy thinks that Benson and her are bonding this entire time, forming a beautiful relationship, and it all culminates when they're about to make the french fries, but Roxy is just so hyped and gives Benson a big ol' smooch. And it just bangs into Benson's head because obviously it's a rock, and Roxy is super offended because how could he not like the beautiful kiss that Roxy just bestowed upon Benson?
Oh, ow! What was that?
What was that? I can't believe you! I kiss you and all you say is ow?
Wait, you did what now?
And Roxy runs away, and Benson has to go save her and just tells her all of this stuff about how he just got out of a relationship and it's not about Roxy. She's an amazing girl, but he just can't do that right now. The only thing that I don't really like about it is just like, if they're gonna have Pam form this relationship with Benson, form this awesome like connection with Benson, why not just bring her up into space? Why not make it so like she was working down in a lab and didn't know that the like launch was about to start and Pam can go up to space? She doesn't need that much development as a character. She could just exist and Benson could just be happy, but no, we get this very sad episode for Benson. But either way, I'm glad that he was able to overcome it, get over it, eat some french fries, you know, just be able to like get over it and not have to go to like Dumptown, USA or something. It's just a very decent episode. Not amazing, not the worst, just very solid. 14 is Operation Hear No Evil, and when Mordecai and Rigby decide to binge watch Laser Hunters because they finally realize that it's a super good show, almost like how people started binging regular show when season 8 was coming out and there were all those ads about them going to space and everyone was like, oh, maybe this show might actually be good, so they binged the entire series. I feel like this episode was making fun of those people, and to be fair, that's what every single person does. You have to just binge the entire show once you start liking it. That's the most enjoyable thing that there is. But anyway, Mordecai and Rigby watch all 8 seasons of this, and the season finale is coming out on the next day. But Mordecai and Rigby were supposed to vacuum the house, and do they do this? No, because they have to unleash Operation Hear No Evil, where they can't hear a single spoiler because they need to watch the Laser Hunter finale spoiler-free.
Bros! Bros, you won't believe how Laser Hunters ends! Operation Hear No Evil, Phase 1.
So they're just going around trying to avoid every single spoiler that they could possibly hear, but they don't vacuum the house because they're trying to avoid all these spoilers, and Benson is very, very angry about this, so he's going to go to every single length he can possible to spoil the Laser Hunter finale for them, and just watching Benson just chase them down using any tactic that he possibly can to try and spoil this for them is just so funny.
I'm glad we're in the air ducts. The acoustics in here are perfect for spoilers.
Him going in the vents, him stealing a golf cart, him literally hiding as a bed.
We're safe. Let's do this.
Yes, finally.
I just wanted the carpets vacuumed. it up, guys. You failed.
And appearing out of nowhere to spoil it for them is just so funny. It's what makes this episode so great. Benson just amplifies this episode to just immense greatness. At number 13 is the episode Gold Watch, and Benson has never missed a day of work in 1,000 days. So the night before his 1,000th day, they're all celebrating, they're all getting happy. Benson is getting super drunk at Wing Kingdom to celebrate this immensely special occasion.
You must want that watch pretty bad, huh?
Oh, you have no idea how long I've wanted that thing. But tonight, I can finally stand before you guys and say, I did it!
Mr. Maylard is going to give him a gold watch. This is everything Benson has always wanted. He wants all of that attention, all of that just recognition, and he needs that from the big boss, Mr. Maylard. So he's celebrating, super happy, he's getting drunk off those wings, and Mordecai and Rigby bring over these other guys that are also celebrating 1,000th of something too. They're celebrating their 1,000th test flight with this super fast, like Mach 1 jet or whatever. It's super fast, it's crazy fast, but either way, great, everybody's celebrating. Till Benson wakes up the next morning in the middle of the desert. He's super confused. He doesn't understand how this possibly could have happened.
Happened to me. What could possibly go wrong between now and then?
Hey, Benson, you're not gonna believe this. These guys are celebrating 1,000 of something too.
Mordecai and Rigby!
And he eventually is walking on the side of the highway. He sees a cop, thinks he's gonna get help, and the cop just arrests him for no reason. Then he gets thrown in jail. Mordecai and Rigby and those two pilot guys are there. He just starts choking out Mordecai. How could you do this to me? What did you do? And it turns out
Arresting me for?
Benson, you're all right.
You!
Knock yourselves out.
Ah!
What did you do to me?
Do you not remember anything?
No!
Benson celebrated a little bit too hard with all those guys last night. Benson was able to call Pops, and Pops found out where they were. He comes to take them and get them out of jail. This cop is just evil, though, throws Pops in jail too, and they have to think of an amazing way to get out of there, and they all just hop on the back of Pops' head to hide, and Pops acts like they mugged him and escaped. I don't know how they all fit on his head. I guess he has a giant, like, Mondo Cabeza.
Nobody escapes from mine.
What?
Either way, they jump the cop and they are all able to escape jail, and Benson just can't be late, and the cop is just chasing him using his super fast, like super souped up cop car that can almost go as fast as the jet, and he's got to make it to work on time if he wants that gold watch, and he jumps all the way, going super fast, and he goes way too fast into the future, and everybody thinks that Benson is dead. Benson just cannot handle this. He's able to take it and go back in time, and he makes it just in time for the meeting. He gets his beautiful gold watch, he's pumped, and luckily Muscle Man has something to celebrate. Some wings. Benson is reluctant, but he decides to eat that wing, munch on it real good, and he wakes up in the middle of the ocean. It's just really funny. It's a great Benson episode about him just struggling with Mordecai and Rigby, putting him into one of the most chaotic situations of his life, and he needs that gold watch. He was willing to do anything to get it, and I'm glad he got it at the end. It's just a very solid episode. Lots of funny moments, especially with that cop just being a douchebag and just throwing them all in jail. That was pretty weird, but it was funny. It was good stuff, and that's why I like this episode. That's why it's at the rate that it's at. Coming in at number 12 is the episode Gamers Never Die, and yes, this is a little bit more about Mordecai and Rigby, but Benson features heavily, and that's why I'm going to rank it here, because I think everything he does in this episode is just so comedic. Mordecai and Rigby beat this old game, and a map appears that shows them the location of some golden game badges. The only problem is they got to keep looking at the map, and they got to keep the TV on if they want to see that map. So what do? They get Skips to steal Benson's car battery for them, and yeah, it's great. So they have a car battery attached to the TV, and Mordecai and Rigby are able to take the TV with them. So they go all the way to this mall, and Benson is a little bit frustrated by this.
Let's just see what the problem is and go from there. Mordecai and Rigby!
Reasonably, I would be pretty angry if, I was going to use my car and all of a sudden my car battery just wasn't there anymore. So Benson just chases them, and they have to do all of these tasks, all of these weird riddles and hints to find the golden game badges, and they're doing it all the correct way. And Benson is just brute forcing his way through literally everything.
But we only took one per customer! Really ought to re-insulate that. You two!
And Mordecai and Rigby eventually get to the golden game badges, and Benson is there in time to meet them and just takes all of them for himself because he's hoping that they're going to be worth enough for a brand new car battery, because that's what he needs. And this causes the entire place to start crumbling. They barely escape, and Mordecai and Rigby are just like, Benson, if you just wanted to hang out with us, you could have just asked, man. And Benson blushes and he's like, guys.
Man, that was really something.
Dude, if you wanted to hang out with us so bad, you could have just asked.
Give me those stupid patches.
Yeah, get back to work, get in the car, we're leaving. This episode is just really comedic. Just all of Benson's reactions to everything, just brute forcing his way through everything, is why it ranks up at number 12. It's just so funny. Coming in at number 11, now this is a fun one. It's Chili Cookoff. And in this episode, Benson is doing what you think he's doing. He's in a chili cook-off and he's got to make some really good chili. He's competing up against Gene, who is just making the best chili that Ben Pimento, the ultimate judge, the ultimate chili bean man, loves. He loves Gene, he loves his chili, and Benson is up against that. So Benson's got to make some really good chili. He's trying his best. He's making Mordecai and Rigby wake up at 3 a.m. to make this brilliant new super good chili, and he barely scrapes his way into the finale of the episode to go against Gene in a ultimate chili cook-off contest. Now in this, Benson also thinks that Gene is clearly cheating by using these special like bell pepper things that like are illegal and cost way over the amount of money that you're supposed to use for making the chili. So Benson breaks into Gene's house pretty reasonably, finds all of this stuff, and there's a bunch of weird schematics with everybody's details and everybody's information on them. Benson completely ignores this and just focuses on the fact that Gene has these peppers, and Gene's all like, yeah, Benson, yeah, I grow them on my own, you idiot. You don't know anything about me. I use these fair and square. So Gene's allowed to keep using these super awesome peppers that make his chili taste better than anybody else's, and Benson has to find a way to make his chili taste amazing. So what does Benson really like? What does he like more than anything else? What does he get drunk off in a lot of episodes? Chicken wings. He starts taking chicken wings off of the bone, putting them in the chili, and that's what he uses in the ultimate battle against Gene, the ultimate chili cook-off. He uses wings, and it's down to the wire. He doesn't know if he's gonna make it. He does a super ultra kick, kicking the last chicken wing into there, and Ben Pimento's trying it, tasting. He's like,
2, 1, 0!
this is delicious. Oh, Benson, this is delicious. He accidentally bites into the chicken wing that he kicked into the pot, and he's like, ugh, I can't believe you've done this to me. But it turns out the chili was just so much better than Gene's. Benson wins the chili cook-off anyway, and boom, that's the entire episode. It's fantastic. I love to see Benson get some wins, and just everything about the chili, him learning how to make it better, him using the wings, him breaking into Gene's house. It's just all great entertainment.
Aww.
Many years in the past, but not this year. Benson wins!
Coming in at number 10 is the episode Benson Suit, and in this episode, Benson gets a brand new suit. What he doesn't know about this suit is it was created for one of the richest men in the entire world to be worn by him. It's got high-tech gadgets, and it is literally alive. This suit is alive, and it escaped from this man because he doesn't want to be used for evil purposes. The guy that wanted the suit literally killed the suit's father.
Come back here.
Can't handle it, so he goes all the way to the park, and Benson finds this beautiful suit, and it makes him look good. It inflates his ass, it makes him feel powerful, it makes him feel confident. He could fight like Kratos, he could literally do anything you could possibly imagine when he's wearing this suit. That rich guy from before, doesn't like this very much. He comes with an entire army, and it's up to Benson in his suit to fight this entire army, and this entire fight sequence is just amazing. He's picking up tanks, he's ragdolling people like they're literally nothing. He is just creating chaos.
What the? No. Stay dead!
Tanks, but
Wait!
no tanks!
He's just so cool throughout this entire sequence. That suit really does make Benson super powerful. He's able to defeat the entire army, but Benson and the suit realize that as long as he exists, as long as this suit is in existence, powerful men are going to come to the park and try to hurt people. So Benson and the suit decide that the suit has to die, and he lowers the suit into the washer, destroying the suit forever.
What now?
You'll have to lower me since I can't deactivate myself, but also I can't really reach the rope. Time to get really clean.
Such a tragic loss, but this episode is really good. It's just great watching Benson go around being confident for a while, learning that his suit is sentient and helping him, and they just decide to be together forever, and then just the entire battle with this entire army is super epic, super awesome. It's a great episode. It's very awesome. And I don't know why Benson didn't just go and buy a super nice suit after this, because yeah, maybe he wouldn't have been able to fight people and save people from robbers and all of that stuff, but I mean, Mordecai and Rigby immediately called him sir, respect him when he was wearing that suit, so I mean, he should have just bought another suit. I mean, he was looking great in that one. Who's to say he can't look great in another one? Coming in at number 9 is the Parky Awards, and that is an award show that is being held to recognize all the park managers and to give them awards for the best whatever, the best soil, the best looking park, the best everything. Gene sweeps this entire thing, but Benson really has his hopes up to win Park Manager of the Year, and he doesn't. So his subordinates all kidnap the trophy from Gene, and they take Benson on a wild night just celebrating, going to a bunch of different places, giving Benson the best night he's ever had to show him how great of a boss he is, how amazing he is. And how he should have been the one to win that award. And they end the night by going back to where the Parky Awards was going to be to let Benson give his own winner speech. It was going to be great. It was going to be good. And then a bunch of ghosts show up, ghosts of former park managers who had all died before this, and they all need their speech too because they never got to win Park Manager of the Year. So all of them give their amazing speeches. They all speech it up, giving some good talking about their lives and how they deserve to also win this award. And then Benson finally goes up there to talk about why he deserved it. And that's when Gene shows up and doesn't let Benson get his moment either way. And it's really depressing until everybody makes Benson their own award, and Benson gets to give his own speech using this fake award, but it still means a lot to him, and they just finish the night off with more just random silly shenanigans.
This is really the best award I could win. I'd like to thank all of you guys, not just for being the best staff I've worked with, but also being the best friends I could ask for. Because of you, every day I come into work, I feel like a true winner.
Again, I really like episodes that just are all about making Benson feel good and appreciating Benson and just showing how good of a boss Benson actually is. He puts up with a lot of stuff, especially with Mordecai and Rigby. They should have been fired a million times over. Benson is always looking out for everybody. He's always there for everybody. So I'm glad every single one of the park members is just there to try and make his night great, to give him a fake award to make him feel better, to try to make him feel like $1 million, because that's what Benson deserves, and that's why I like this episode a lot. Coming in at number 8 is Stick Hockey, and wow, we finally got to a Benson episode where he actually pisses me off for the majority of it. I feel like all of these episodes, I haven't been mad at the dude at all. I've just been praising him, but hey, this episode's about Benson, and he is just a bad person in this episode. So Mordecai and Rigby get a stick hockey table, and they're just playing stick hockey, enjoying their lives, and Benson doesn't like this because of his dark, sinister past with stick hockey. He is just not about it, and he wants them to get rid of that table right now. Mordecai and Rigby are like, no, so Benson's like, okay, go and do all of your work, decom the entire park, go do all of it. And while they're going out doing all of that so that they could play some stick hockey, enjoy themselves, and they actually do all of their work when they're properly motivated.
Where is it?
Where's what?
Our stick hockey table.
I got rid of it.
Oh, what?
But you said we could have it.
Nice try. There's no way you two degummed the entire park.
Benson just gets rid of their stick hockey table. And you could say Mordecai and Rigby deserved it for always doing their work in the past, but no. In this situation, they had a deal, and Benson went back on that deal and just ruined their entire day, took something that was theirs, and that was just really messed up. So Mordecai and Rigby and Benson just go from place to place to place, from thrift shop to thrift shop to thrift shop, trying to find the stick hockey table, and they can't find it anywhere, so they eventually just ditch Benson, leave him on the side of the road because it was all Benson's fault, and they'll find it on their own.
Just listen to me!
You know what, Benson? Forget it. Thanks for all your help, but we can get the stick hockey table without you.
And they eventually find it in this death arena stick hockey game where if you lose, you literally die. And Benson has to go there and save them and have the ultimate hockey match with this guy right here. Yeah, he looks pretty intimidating. I don't know how this guy got into stick hockey. He looks like he should do blood sports, some MMA, some UFC. But either way, he's really good at stick hockey, and it's up to Benson to defeat him. We get to learn about Benson's past with stick hockey, and we learn that his apprentice got his head cut off by this dude just for playing stick hockey. He just dies in front of Benson, and that's why Benson doesn't like stick hockey.
Oh, my neck!
And we get this ultimate showdown with stick hockey. He's just destroying him. He's winning. And Benson saves the day, saves Mordecai and Rigby, gets the table back, and defeats that guy. It is just phenomenal. Such a good episode. I don't know how you could take something like a stick hockey table and make such a good episode out of it. I mean, we have Benson just being a horrible person at the beginning, but he redeems himself in such a cool way, making stick hockey look super awesome. And I love it so much. And it is a phenomenal episode. And coming in at number 7 is Weekend at Benson's, and this one ranks a little bit lower because to me this is one of the like peak episodes in all of regular show. If I was ranking all of the episodes, this would probably be in the top 10, but if I'm ranking just episodes that are all about Benson, Benson is featured heavily in this episode, but I mean he's not like a main focus. It's mainly about Mordecai and Rigby using his lifeless corpse in order to make him look super impressive in front of the girl that he likes. Yes, Benson is featured heavily, but Benson only talks at the beginning when Mordecai and Rigby literally knock him out.
Hold the ladder!
Knocking him off of a ladder onto the ground, knocking him out cold, and then they Weekend at Bernie's him, carrying him everywhere with some sunglasses on, carrying him to a party, trying to make him look super cool in front of this girl, and just force feed him a bunch of really hot stuff, and then Benson just can't handle it. He eventually wakes up and he's forced to drink the Mississippi Queen with Mordecai and Rigby after he was battling the Iron, the Effie, in a food eating challenge. So he has to drink the Mississippi Queen. That's amazing, and they go on the trip of their lifetimes, just, literally tripping balls.
Mississippi Queen was Mississippi lame.
Yeah, it's not even spicy at all.
Yeah, well, that's called beginner's luck. Luck.
And yeah, that's the entire episode. It's really fantastic. Mississippi Queen, the song at the end playing, makes this episode so amazing. Benson just being force-fed all of that stuff is really funny. Him waking up and just being like, my mouth is on fire. The beginning where they knock him out also made me laugh a lot. There's just a lot of stuff to like about this episode, and that's why it's one of the peak episodes in all of regular show. But as a Benson episode, he's really only there mentally at the beginning. In the end, that's why it ranks a little bit lower on the list, but either way, it's a really good episode. If I'm gonna eventually rank all of the episodes in regular show, it's gonna be up there. At number 6 is Hello China, and this episode is just so much fun. Benson goes all the way to China to teach English to some students there, and who also needs to learn a language at the same time? Rigby. But Rigby's not gonna learn an actual language. I mean, it's Rigby. Come on, you think he could do that in the span of 3 months? No, there's no possible way. So Rigby also camps out in Benson's luggage, goes all the way to China, and yeah, he's there. He joins Benson's class, and Benson has to try to teach Rigby and all of these Chinese students some English, and it doesn't go very well because Rigby starts teaching all of them slang, and it's really funny. They start making fun of Benson for not having a lady.
Well, I'm not really officially seeing anyone right now.
It's really great. It's so funny, and I feel really bad for Benson here. Benson goes out to eat, and because of Rigby being there, he just feels so bad about himself because he traveled halfway across the world to just be the same as he always was.
You're gonna fail, and you'll never turn into someone better. You're still making the same mistakes as back home. Do you really want to have flown halfway around the world only to find out you're always going to be the same no matter where you go?
There's this super big performance coming up, and all of Benson's students will have to showcase how good of English they learned from Benson, and Benson is just like, well, I couldn't do it. I'm never going to be able to do something like this again because I'm a failure. And yeah, it's really sad for Benson, but Rigby actually pulls through, makes it all work out, and we get this super awesome song, this super awesome rap about English, about how awesome Benson is, about how they'll find Benson a lady.
Our history, you see, is study only for a test. No biggie, but like a music, no, we need a rest. Slang is I, my straight up chillin', swagger, skillin', street talk, and it's tight.
So dear Benson, here's a letter.
All this awesome stuff. It's a great appreciation for Benson. It's great. Dear Benson is an amazing song that pairs super well with this entire episode. And yeah, Benson going to China, big thumbs up for me. That's why it's at number 6. It's a phenomenal episode, and I love everything about it. Benson and Rigby's dynamic, Benson just getting frustrated trying to teach all of these kids. It's great.
We'll help you get a book because we know some adult chicks.
And coming in at number 5 is the Dome Experiment, and this is one of the specials in regular show, so it's half an hour long. It is just so good from beginning to end. Everything about it, I love it so much. Benson doesn't trust the Dome guys because the Dome guys put the Dome on the Dome a day early, and Benson has all of the notes saved, all of the emails saved, and they said it would be a day later. Benson just cannot accept this fact. He cannot accept the fact that he would possibly be wrong about a date. How could this possibly happen? So while everybody else is struggling to figure out how to survive in this dome, struggling to figure out how they're going to make it in this dome for 30 days, well, Benson is just losing his mind, runs into the woods and meets a bird, starts training, starts getting a bow and arrow, starts figuring out how to take down this entire dome situation.
I'm ready. Dome, 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 dome.
To take down all of these dome people, Benson is learning all of it. And it's actually really awesome to watch him go from just being this guy that was super worried about the date to this ultimate badass with this bird that just rides on his shoulder. He's able to take down these security droids. He's able to sneak into places, and then he eventually gets caught, and they try to do this entire thing where it's like people faking to be everybody in the park, and Benson trying to give away serious information because while Benson was breaking into this secret facility, he could have had the opportunity to learn a lot of stuff about them going into space, why they're being studied, all of this, but he was just focused on finding the date and proving that he was right about the date the entire time.
Why we switch the date on your email?
So you admit you did change the dates, and I've got the proof right here!
The most Benson thing you could ever do. You know, not worry about anybody else around you and just worry about getting a date right. But either way, Benson realizes that this is all a trick, and he goes and he finds all the others, and they have to get out of here immediately because something is just not right. They're studying them. Why are they doing that? So they go on this big, awesome mission to break out of here, getting on top of security droids. Benson uses a literal, like, exploding arrow to shoot a hole out through the dome, destroying the entire dome. It's just all really epic. This is just one of the coolest specials in the entire show. It's all so awesome to watch, and I'm glad that they chose Benson to be the main focus of the dome experiment, because just watching him is just really comedic. Just his entire search for the date is really funny, but he also just becomes a badass throughout the entire episode, which also leads to a lot of funny moments with like them trying to use a puppet to pretend that Benson is still okay.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
He's a fake!
Get him! What the heck is this?
Benson and his bird helping in the end. Dr. Dome, the villain, going against that villain. There's just a lot of awesome stuff throughout the entire episode that makes me appreciate it a lot, and that's why it's number 5. And coming in at number 4 is the episode Think Positive, and Benson is told in this episode that he's not allowed to yell at Mordecai and Rigby. What is the prime essence of Benson's soul? It's yelling at Mordecai and Rigby for them doing the stupidest things ever imaginable, and well, Benson just doesn't take this very well, because if he yells at Mordecai and Rigby, he's going to be fired, so he has to contain all of his anger. And well, it goes pretty bad. He tries counting, which doesn't really help at all because Mordecai and Rigby make it so much worse.
I think he'll do when he gets to 100.
7, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96.
He tries listening to a nice calming audio tape, which ends with him destroying his entire apartment. He just starts going on a walk, and he is literally so angry that he is leaving burn marks in the grass, containing his anger. Mordecai and Rigby just try and egg him on, trying to make him angry, and just nothing is happening. He's just holding in his anger. He literally starts floating up to the sky, just in this ultra super flaming, I don't even know. He's just so angry that it's just forming into the literal sun. I don't even know. It's just he's that angry. And Pops has to eventually like give in and be like, okay, Benson, if you don't yell at Mordecai and Rigby, you're fired because I think you're about to destroy everything. And he just unleashes the ultimate yell on Mordecai and Rigby. Just they're literally frozen with fear as this ray of sun is just beaming into them, and they're just like, ah!
You lazy, no good slackers drive me nuts! Can't you just listen to me once in your worthless life?
Because they're literally dying from Benson just yelling at them this much, and he just lays into them for everything wrong that they ever do. And yeah, Benson is back to normal after getting a good yell out, and good for him. Mordecai and Rigby are left unable to hear anything for who knows how long. And yeah, that's the entire premise of the episode. Just everything with Benson being super angry. He's just really funny throughout the entire episode. Mordecai and Rigby are just complete and utter nuisances throughout this entire episode, just being super annoying, wrecking everything, trying to egg him on into being pissed at them, into yelling at them. And yeah, the ending where he just lets it all out is really fantastic, great visuals, and yeah, that's why it's number 4 on this list.
Because if you did, you'd see I'm trying to teach you some simple responsibility, some pride in doing a job well done.
And coming in at number 3 is a 150-piece kit, and this episode just makes Benson look like the most badass person on the entire planet, because Heir to the Throne is coming to the park to play a show there. Benson is the park manager, but Benson used to be in Heir to the Throne, and he was the man who played the 150-piece drum solo for one of their songs. Except the band starts lying and says that no, he didn't. Nobody in the park even believes Benson, not even his closest friends.
You can totally borrow my...
Oh, I've heard it, because it was me! I performed that drum solo!
Everybody abandons him. They make fun of him. They don't help him at all. Benson is all on his own because everybody believes that this insane drum solo can only be performed by the Drumatron VI, a robot, but Benson is out to prove to everybody that he can do it. And just this entire sequence of Benson actually going on stage, actually playing this entire drum solo is just so cool.
My name is Benson. And I can play this solo. What the?
Watching him play every single kind of drum imaginable, watching him literally just do everything while Mordecai Rigby and all of the guys are fighting off the Heir to the Throne members because they don't want to see Benson succeed. And he's actually doing so good. He uses his skateboard to play the drums. He goes up into a giant like roll cage and has to play a drum while this giant like literal tongue has to bang into the ground for the final drum piece. It's just all so cool. And it definitely makes Benson look cooler. I feel like as a kid, a lot of people were still like, oh, I don't like Benson. And this episode definitely helped to make Benson look like $1,000,000. He looks so cool throughout this entire episode, and that's why I like it so much. It makes Benson a literal god.
Oi, what happened to your hair, Benson?
It's hereditary!
And coming in at number 2 is the episode Lunch Club. And in this episode, Rigby destroys a $1 million sheet cake at Maylord's fancy little party by literally mowing it to pieces like he's on a lawnmower. He falls asleep and he mows this entire cake to shreds. And Maylord blames Rigby and Benson for this.
Rigby!
I don't understand how much money this guy could possibly have to not fire both of them just on the spot for $1 million sheet cake being ruined. I'm not going to focus on that, but he forces them to stay locked in one room, put the blame on one person, and one person has to write a letter of resignation. And that's the premise of the episode. Rigby and Benson locked in this room. Rigby is not going to write that letter. Benson's not going to write that letter. And so Rigby's just like, chilling. He wants to eat these cold wings. And Benson's like, no, dude, what's wrong with you? So they sneak into the vents because it's that serious. And they try to make some microwave wings. Benson has this entire song about it, which I love so much.
Microwave wings, microwave wings. This is Benson's recipe for microwave wings.
They're able to narrowly avoid Maylord, like I'm talking a very close call there, and they go back in the room. They're eating these wings that Rigby is like, wow, these are way better than they were cold because of this microwave wings. Good stuff. So they form the lunch club, and they just start bonding, doing a bunch of stuff like pretending the floor is lava, playing with action figures, dancing, all of this good stuff, just having a great time and actually bonding. And then we just get one of the realest moments in the show where they're just sitting there talking about their anxieties and what they fear in life and the stuff that they regret in life and how Benson's dad treated him so horribly and how Rigby acts like a clown because he's expected to be a clown.
This recurring nightmare where I'm flailing in a futureless void. My father's there. He's laughing at me.
Wow, you're pretty messed up.
And it's a actual very real moment between the two, and I think that's why I like this episode so much. And they decide that they're both going to quit because neither of them should be fired, but if one of them has to go, then both of them are going to go. So they write a letter that is just basically roasting Maylord just nonstop, and Maylord fortunately doesn't have his reading glasses, so he makes Pops read it, and Pops basically just says that, we're sorry, we really apologize, could we stay at the park? And Maylord is like, oh, wow, that was such a nice letter, I guess you guys can stay. Money, rich, money, rich. And I think I rank this episode so high is just because I like the bond that Rigby and Benson form here. It's just really enjoyable to watch all of this stuff where they're actually bonding, actually doing stuff together, and then you just get that super real conversation about their anxieties that just makes this go way up on the episodes that I like. I know it's not a traditional, like, chaotic regular show episode, but it's super fun to watch, especially if you care about the characters a lot.
I expected to be a clown, so I'm a clown. But clowns cry too, man. Clowns cry too.
My old man criticized me for being in that band. Wake up!
You don't have any talent. Get a real job.
And at number 1, the best Benson episode in all of regular show is Busted Cart. And in this episode, Mordecai and Rigby destroy the golf cart on literally the day before the warranty is going to expire. So it's up to Benson to get in his pickup truck and drive all the way there, which is super, super far, just so that he could try and get a new golf cart, or else he's going to be fired by Maylard, because Maylard is really pissed about this golf cart being destroyed. He doesn't want to have to spend money on that. So Benson is just trying his best, trying to get there. Mordecai and Rigby feel bad. They want to make sure that he gets there and they want to help him. So they hide in the back of Benson's pickup truck. And when Benson sees them, he is pissed, but he is willing to just let them come along, because at this point, he doesn't really have a choice. And they actually start bonding. They start hanging out. They start dancing. They start enjoying themselves. They talk to each other. They start just, you know, having a good time. It's a good road trip. And Benson is getting a little bit tired, so he decides that he's going to trust Mordecai and Rigby to drive the rest of the way to the dealership at night while Benson is sleeping. And Mordecai and Rigby decide to, you know, go to an arcade and play some video games. They lose track of time, and it has been hours. Benson wakes up and he's like, oh no. And just this entire scene of Benson starting to break down because he thinks that he's going to lose his job, the one thing that he actually has, the one thing that's actually going right for him, the only thing that he has left in his entire life.
Excuses, excuses. How am I supposed to trust you when all you give me are excuses? When are you two gonna learn that your actions have consequences? Consequences that affect other people, like me. Don't you two understand? I'm about to lose my job.
Made pretty much everyone who was watching regular show see Benson in a different light, and that's why this is the number 1 Benson episode in all of regular show, because it was the first time that we got to see Benson as more. It was the first time that we got to see Benson as just not that angry boss, not that angry jerk who wanted to ruin Mordecai and Rigby's fun. We got to see Benson as a character, as a person, as somebody who was just trying to live his life and not keep having things go wrong for him. And Mordecai and Rigby feel extremely bad about this after watching Benson break down. They leave him at that arcade, and Mordecai and Rigby try their best to get the cart there on time. Benson chases them in a motorcycle, and they have to go in the most dangerous highway in all of America, and Mordecai and Rigby are able to complete going on this highway by doing some stunting carting, and they're able to get to the dealership just barely on time, and that's the episode for you. It's number 1 on the list because it was the first time Benson's character truly evolved from that angry boss to somebody that you actually want to root for. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I got lots of good stuff on the way. I'm going to be ranking every single fight in regular show. I'm going to be ranking every single Adventure Time song. I'm still working on some BoJack and some South Park stuff. Just lots of good stuff on the way. And if you want some more gaming content, some more movie content, some more show content, then this is the place to be, and you want to be along for the ride. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.